let's talk about that election that recently just happened a couple of months ago or a month ago or whatever it was. Because I said something similar. I was, people were asking me like, "What do you think, about the election outcome?" And I'm like, "Well, we'll see, right?" It seemed like the Conservatives had a so. For those of you watching this that are outside of Canada, let me break it down for you. You had a Conservative Party whose platform included three very interesting proposals, which I thought were a great idea. There was going to be a reduction in income tax in around the middle lower tax brackets, which isn't a huge reduction, but the average person would save, let's say, $1,500 a year. The second thing was there was going to be an increase in the amount of money that you could contribute to your tax-free savings account. I can't remember what the exact amount was, but it was fairly significant, right, Hannah? It was almost double.
I don't know.
It was something like from 6,000 to 12,000, but it was
I think it was pretty big like that.
Yeah, it was a very significant increase in the amount of money that you could put in a tax-free savings investment account beyond what the limit is right now. And then the third thing was they were going to completely wipe the the GST off of the purchase of a home under 1.3 million. So it's a 13% tax. So on $1 million, it's a lot of money. It's $130,000 plus, right? But the Canadians still voted for the Liberals. They saw this offer to save money and contribute more to their tax-free savings and be able to, make housing more affordable. And they still went back to the party that's been abusing the shit out of Canadians for the last 10 years. So you make that make sense. And that's just the mindset of most people that live in Canada right now. Because that's what unless they totally rigged the entire election and it's completely fraudulent and they, it's just a game and we're just pawns in it, which there's probably some truth to it. Some of it anyway, but it just seems like the vast majority of Canadians vote for liberalism. Lock me down harder, tax me harder, daddy, that kind of stuff, right? How does that sit with you, living in Canada, Hannah? Like, have you thought about leaving? Is that an option that you've contemplated, or are you going to sit it out?
Like, I never thought that I would actually think about leaving Canada, but I have been thinking about it. Like in the last, since we did lose the election, I actually have been thinking about it. I don't think I will.
If you were going to move, where would you move to?
Probably the US, I guess.
But then the US is just a few years behind Canada, though, isn't it, Denise?
I hope not.
I mean, you guys seem to fare a little bit better in the last election, but you still have a whole bunch of people on the left side of the equation throwing hissy fits all the time about ridiculous
all the
stuff.
time. All the
Making
time.
Mountains out of molehills, right?
Yeah. And that's why they lost the election. Because they'll stand on a hill that is so insignificant and it makes no sense. And I think there's so many middle Americans that were like, this makes no sense. And you guys are going to fight over it, like men being in women's sports,
right?
And the co-ed locker rooms with children. You're going to stand on that to no, it's so ridiculous that I think that's what, and they still are mad about it. My neighbor, we talked about it the other day. I'm like, that's why you guys lost the election, because you're talking about shit that is just common sense, doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And there's too many people who are just
aside from put the people on the left and put the people on the right and let them govern themselves separately.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be interesting.
You'd be surprised how many of my friends in California have switched over the last 4 years.
Switched over to what, like the Republican side?
Yeah, they're just they don't tell anybody.
Why? Like, what do you think the straws were that broke the camel's backs? And
just how bad the homelessness is happening in California.
Yeah, apparently it's pretty bad. I haven't been down there in a few years, but it's gotten a lot worse, right?
I was in San Francisco, and it's they literally have an app that tells you where poop is going to be.
Oh, I think I've heard about this app. They have a poop app.
That's insane.
Right.
Yes. The stuff that they're teaching children in schools, you're paying this premium tax to live in California.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're going to schools that are teaching the kids nothing that's going to get them a job in life. And the parents are sick of it.
Mm. Well, that's why they start moving out, but they also tend to bring a lot of their political views when they move to some of the other states as well. That they'll flip flop back and forth, right? It's like, this sucks, and they move, and they're like, well, this isn't what I want. I want more of what I left, and they try to bring it back to
right.
I don't know. I think the idea of tribes and us versus them that we lived by for millions of years worked for a reason. It's like, people that were of a similar mind and idea and culture and everything, banded together and they thrived. And it's like, survival of the fittest, right? The cultures and the societies that sucked, that had bad policies, just didn't make it.
That's right.
And that's one of the problems with egalitarianism, where it's like, everybody gets an equal share of something. I mean, it's essentially socialism, right? You get some, you need healthcare, no problem. You get some, walk across the border here. Here's a phone, here's some money. You need housing, no problem. You get some of that too, right? I mean, that's how Canada operates. I know that Trump's trying to change that in the States. All right, guys, I really hope that you enjoyed that clip. If you want to check out the full-length podcast episode, you can find that right over here. Also, make sure you visit my website over here, where you'll find my supplements, the opportunity to book me privately one-on-one for coaching, and most importantly, my new School of Unplugging, which you'll find on the Courses tab. Newer to the channel, hit subscribe.